Friday, y'all. Happy Friday. I'm sorry I had to go off a little bit before this live, okay? But I'm back to normal now. I'm back to normal. I promise you. I promise. 10 seconds. Hey, 5, 4, 3, 2. Remember, everything's allegedly. Even my name and whole human being is allegedly. Y'all better be in the wine glass. Happy Friday, y'all. How you doing? Y'all good? Hit the wine glass. No. Hit the wine glass if y'all coming from Facebook, Instagram, or Wino's podcast, and y'all just got done seeing me yell and go off. Hit the wine glass, okay? Let me see what y'all talk about in the comment section, all right? We got a full show, all right? We got 2 shows, remember, okay? We got this show, all right? And then we got our second show, uncensored, raw, and uncut, okay, on TashaKLive.com, which will follow directly after this live. We don't start it until this live is over, okay? And so if you want to be a part of that, you do have to visit TashaKLive.com, the website, subscribe on the website, then you can download the app, okay? For tonight, all right, we have part 3 to our PPP series, okay? We have an edited version that is YouTube approved, okay? We had to wait for this video to get monetized. It took about 3 days, okay, for YouTube to approve it for y'all to listen to it. All right, I'm telling you, they making me jump through the ring. I'm going to start being more honest with y'all over here, okay? I really am, okay? So y'all won't be like, why you always going to the app? Why you only giving us like this much? This is why, okay? It took 3 days for them to approve this part 3, okay? And I'm not in the business of giving content out for free, all right? We make sure we get paid so we don't have to ask you for money, all right? Also, we're going to be talking about Wendy Williams. I'm really upset. I'm very, very irritated about this latest article that came out because it is just not true, okay? I believe it was page 6, if I'm not mistaken, of the Sun. It was either the U.S. Sun or page 6 that reported a very inaccurate story about Miss Wendy Williams, okay? And I get what they're trying to do, but it's given overkill, all right? We're going to be discussing that. Also going to be discussing Brother Polight. We have an update on that, okay? Regarding a case, a story that we had broke about 1.5 years ago, maybe 2 years ago, okay? And so he's getting ready to go to trial, and we're going to be discussing what he's going to trial for, okay? You know Brother Polight. Don't act like you don't. If you don't, Google him, okay? The biggest lying, polygamous whole nigga that is on the internet, okay? Now, also, okay, before we get in to any of those topics that I just discussed, okay, you guys know that we have to take a moment and thank our sponsors, and we're going to be showing trailers to what's coming up on TashaKLive.com, okay, our website that we created that's uncensored and raw for you guys to enjoy me being me on, okay, because YouTube said I can't be me no more. All right. But I try to slip it in there every now and then. OK. And so while we wait for more winos to come in and enter the chat, y'all make sure moderators no blocking. OK. Also that you're liking this video or disliking this video if you hit hate. All right. We welcome it all. All right. And without further ado, we got some sponsors that we need to brag about, which means boldly raise a glass. So we'll be right back. Let's go.
But I was shocked to see that the receipts are still sitting in the space in which you got them from, because I was like, there is no way Reed would have been bold enough to file a lawsuit and these receipts are live in public right now.
Me and Shamako had several conversations about Reed, to the extent that he felt like when I told him about it, he told me randomly one day, he was like, because of how close we were, he said it seemed like if something was going to happen, like it would have happened with me and you, not you and Reed. And that in that moment, it changed how I looked at him entirely. And so he said, when you hugged me on Sunday, I got an erection. He said, I could tell that you really love me when you hugged me. So I could just feel that you love me, and it gave me an erection.
Call call me. And then he's steady sending you scripture after scripture of shit that he said because he wants to continue to manipulate so he can change your mind into thinking that he did not do anything to you. But what are you apologizing for, Larry Reed? Yeah. What mistakes have you made?
Listen close and listen carefully. The olive leaf extract can reverse high blood pressure and diabetic high blood sugar, or the sugar as some of our grandmamas may call it. It can also kill any nasty little bugs in your bodies like parasites, bacteria, fungi, tumors, and much, much more. And if that's not enough, you can also tell certain cancers like breast, prostate, colon, liver, and skin cancer to take a seat because the olive leaf extract has been known to fight it. And their friend lupus can get it too, okay? So I need my winos to be in good health because we have some good dragging to do. So visit myoliveleaf.biz to help get your health in order. All right, winos, check out our Unwine with Tasha K store. We got sweatshirts that say, now I gotta go and I ain't got it. We got crop top, wine mug, water bottles. We got it all, okay? So be sure to hit that link below. All right, and we're back, okay? So thank you so much for being patient. And what you saw was part 4, okay? Our final episode to our PPP series on Larry Reed, okay? Like I said, we may have a bonus episode. I'm still working on that, but for the moment, this is everything involving the story of 15-year-old Lavondre Andrews, okay? And according to him, he was violated heavily, okay, by Dr. Sticky Mouth, a.k.a. Larry Reed, all right? And so tonight you're going to be seeing a portion of part 3, what we could get approved. And then on Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on TashaKLive.com, you will be seeing part 4, which is the receipts. So get ready. Okay, get ready. Let's go. Speaking of getting ready, Missy. Listen. I wish I could, I know that so many Missy Elliott songs, but I can't think of none right now because I'm tired and I want some wine, and I can't drink no wine until after my birthday because I'm detoxing from alcohol. So we're going to get through this, okay? I just want to take a moment out to really show some real sincere love to Missy Elliott, okay? I believe she has lupus, if I'm not mistaken. She's gone through a number of health issues regarding her weight and all that. And, I know that she's been losing weight, but I wanted to put this picture up here, okay? Especially given our detox that we just did and completed on TashaKLive.com. And we had winos that was losing 14, 10 pounds, 20 pounds in 2 weeks, okay? On a diet plan that I gave you. Y'all believed in yourself, you believed in me, and you lost the weight, okay? And the reason I put Missy Elliott up here, because I know y'all finna get mad now, is because this is what black women look like, okay? When we big, white women too, Asian women, and when we small. When we big, we look like aunties, we look like grandmamas, we look probably about 20 years older than what our normal age is, okay? But when we shed all that beautiful weight, all right, and we keep our physique up and we eat our fruits and our plants and vegetables, then we start to look 30. We start to look 25. We start to look 30. She was down here looking 45, 50 years old, okay? Now, the makeup does dial back some years, but without that makeup, she was looking hella old. Okay, no cap at all. And I'm putting this up here as encouragement for women to keep going. Okay, to keep loving on yourself, to keep putting yourself first. I know it gets harder, especially when you turn 40 and you got all types of problems going on. You ain't got time. You gotta put time into yourself. And when I saw her release a video of her modeling and she looking like, I told you, even though she, Carisha is young. Carisha looks older. I think that had a lot to do with her BBL. But she looks like she could be Carisha's little sister. That she looked younger than Carisha. Diddy Bop. you know? And so I just kind of wanted us to show some love to her. And y'all use this as encouragement, because this is what happens when we carry all that extra weight. We look bad. We look like aunties. We look like we don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? Always tired. It's hard to breathe. You know, I know black women that have lupus and arthritis and all of that. And once they shed the weight, all of that disappears, okay? Cholesterol, all that stuff, it disappears. And this is what you get: youth, your youth back. So what you used to look like in your late 20s, that's what you're going to look like, okay? So congratulations, Missy Elliott. I just had to put this on deck, all right? Now, moving on. Fantasia also is another one I wanted to show some love to, okay? Fantasia. I'm going to drag her a little bit, though. I am. Only because I feel like she's feeding into a system that hasn't done anything to feed us back, okay? And so Fantasia has decided to go back to school. She did drop out when she was 14, okay? But she's since, of course, proved that school isn't everything, okay? Common sense is not school, okay? And they've branded schools the same way they've branded milk, okay? Eggs, cheese, you know, meat, you know, saying that we need it, we can't live without it. That milk is necessary for the bones. They're branding schools, and they have branded schools that this is necessary. You know what I'm saying? And constantly, time after time, we've had plenty of white men, okay, who are on the spectrum, the autism spectrum, who have shown us time and time after again, you don't have to go to school. Just focus on what your genius is. Focus on what it is that you want to do, and you build on that. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. And Fantasia sang. She sang, okay? And because of that, she sang her way out of school. She didn't need it. Even though, yeah, she went off and had a baby, her voice carried her. Her gift carried her, okay? But we're going to watch this video here, and I got a little to say on it, because I want to congratulate her, but I'm still going to tell her she don't need it. Let's go ahead and go. Let's watch this video. I'm a little salty.
Because I'm honest, and I ain't going to look in the mirror and pretend that it ain't there. It's there, baby. But we about to get it off. So love y'all. God bless y'all. I'm going to do some more work. I went back to school. Shout out to my soror Yvonne. She's back in school. I'm back in school. We push each other, motivate each other. So I'm going to get off and get me another little session in, and then take my young one and my husband out for a little bit. But love y'all. Proud of y'all. Proud of me. Let's do this.
All right, so I'm proud of her. I just hope that she ain't in school for psychology or sociology, okay? I'm tired. I am so tired of these degrees that don't yield you nothing, okay? I'm tired. So I just hope that she did choose something that could help to elevate her music career and elevate her financially, because remember, school is an investment. The money you put in is just like you taking that money and going to start a business. School is you going to start the business of you, okay? And so that money has to yield you a job, okay, and able to get you further. But if you go there and get a degree and then you can't get a job with that degree, what's the sense? You didn't get no return on your investment, okay? So we have to look at it like that. And I get it that people think school is the end all be all, and we got some highly educated people that are making a lot of money, but those highly educated people too will be honest with you and tell you that you have to be strategic when you decide to go to school. And just don't go to school because you want your kids to look at you and call you educated, but your kids look at you and look up to you because of how disciplined you are and how successful you are and how dedicated you are. And it ain't got shit to do with you going to school. It's got everything to do with you being the amazing mother that you are, okay? So don't let them people just take your money like that. Please, please, please. We ain't got it to give, okay? We in a recession. Moving on.
So if you can...
Wait. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now, I thought this story, okay, was perfect for Friday. I lived in Hagerstown for 6 years. Hit the wine glass if you know what Hagerstown, Maryland is, okay? Hagerstown is on the border of, what do they call it? Pennsylvania, Maryland. Well, it is in Maryland, West Virginia, and Virginia. So pretty much 4 states. And they're pretty much considered mountain states where mountain people are, right? And so I saw this story come across social media, and I couldn't do nothing but laugh, even though I was like, God, go strike me down for this, for real. But I had to. Living in Hagerstown was definitely different, okay? You saw a lot of biracial kids, and you saw tons of toothlessness white women, okay? And white men too, okay? And it was so common that we started to notice that jobs, like, or employers would put in policy these smile policies, meaning you can't get a job unless you have a smile, right? Not a perfect smile, but a smile, your teeth. They wanted you to have your teeth. And so I remember working in the restaurant industry, and that's the first thing that they would look at was, do you have teeth? Because a lot of times in these small towns that are really heavy on narcotics and high in sugar. I remember there was this documentary I was watching one time about a little town in West Virginia, and all these people in West Virginia had no teeth from drinking a certain soda. We're not going to say that soda here. I don't want them hitting me with no cease and desist, but it was a green soda. And the sugar content in that soda was triple than what any other soda served. And as a result, by the time they were like 30 years old, sometimes even 20 years old, these people's teeth would be falling out, okay? And you got to understand, these people are in poverty. They in the mountains. They don't have access to good health care. They don't have, dental plans. Never went to a dentist in their life, and then on top of that, you got sugar, and then you got narcotics if you own it, and things like that. And then it's toothlessness. And so companies like Sheets, because we noticed everywhere that we went, people had smiles like this young lady here. Unfortunately, if you did not meet the criteria, this is what would happen. This young lady happened to catch in real time what her employer did to her, but it did backfire on the employer. Okay, let's listen to this video here. Let's go.
So if you can, and I appreciate you being understanding with all of this, because I've had similar conversations that didn't go well. So I really appreciate your understanding, because I know it's a difficult conversation, I'm sure.
It's frustrating. I mean, I was hired this way.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, to be honest, I probably will seek other employment, because I feel like if my job performance is not enough and it has to be based on any part of my looks, it's not a company I want to be associated with, to be honest. I'm just bearing it all out here.
That's understandable.
This company has no idea what I've been through. I've lost those front teeth because my ex-husband headbutted me because I forgot to turn the whole light out.
Okay. So what you heard there was her recording the Sheets manager at this popular gas station up in the DMV for firing her because she did not meet the smile policy and 2 of her teeth were missing. But because they had a policy in place, they wasn't trying to hear, because they've heard every excuse there was, because these people got to work. Even though they ain't got no teeth, they got to work. You know what I'm saying? And so, as a result, she ended up, recording, the employer and showing just how cruel they were. And I was like, come on now, lady. Come on. Listen. This is an isolated case, okay? And not so much isolated, because a lot of women or a lot of people do suffer situations like this where, they end up losing their teeth from, just various things. In her situation, it was domestic violence, okay? And so I get that. But, like, when you live up there, not everybody is getting head-butted and their teeth are falling out at all, okay? That's not happening to everybody. Now, I get Now, she getting her some new teeth now because when this post went out, every smile doctor was on the post trying to contact who she was because they about to give her a $100,000 mouth, okay? And then she can go back and work for Sheetz gas station, okay? And be happy, ain't got to worry about getting fired. But because I know personally what the hell going on up there in the mountains, okay? It was hard for me to find a dentist. I had to go to the health department to get me and my family's teeth cleaned, and them appointments was 6-7 months out because if you don't have a tooth loose, they ain't trying to see you. We can't be doing this now. You'll be surprised how many people came in and they would try to interview and you know, he talking to you just like this, and they done lost their teeth as a result of smoking that shit. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. Soda. Yeah. Uh-huh. Little Debbie cakes. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. So we're not going to do this. Okay? So I need all the public outrage to just calm down. Okay? All right. That's how they talk up there, too. And a lot of them kids, too, biracial. Yeah. No teeth either. You know? A lot of red acne and things on their face. Moving on. I'm going to hell. I'm going to hell. I already know it. I'm going to hell. Give me a second. Another one. So, I don't know how to say, well, I do know how to say her name. Miracle. It's spelled different, okay? So this is Miracle Pog, and this is Charles. She refused to give Charles his last name, I guess for insurance purposes or check purposes or whatever, okay? She don't want y'all going to pull up the background on her husband that she met at the laundromat she was working at, okay? So he was a regular, I believe, and came in there. You know, she met, you know, her husband. And so she wants to give him 2 kids. He's 85 and she's 24. She claims that when she looked at him, she couldn't tell that he was 85. And, you know, I'm just here to say, well, we couldn't tell that you were 24. This goes back to Missy Elliott. Drop them down. Okay? See the thickums? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's go back to Missy Elliott. Okay? When you take care of yourself, okay, you look like the after Missy Elliott, before and after, okay? But Mrs. Miracle Pog, for you to get online and say, we could put her back up, that you saw him and you didn't see that he was 85 years old. You didn't even think he was a day over 30. I could clearly see why you said that, okay? Because we can't see or you know, that you're 24. This is a real different looking 24, okay? And I get it. It's give and check. Everybody got to get their own. I mean, listen, if she can hold it out, she going to be living good, and she may be able to take some of that money and, you know, really take care of herself and dial back some of them years. Because I was like, sis, I'm not worried about him being 85. I'm worried about you saying that you're 24, because I'm like, where? Huh? Okay, I could care less about y'all getting married. Be as it may. Do what you got to do. Get out of the laundromat, sis. Do you, but don't be around here lying to us like that. You make it lie to him and make him feel like he got some young. But sis, 24, we're not doing that. Teddy, how old do you think she is? How old do you think she is? Moving on, okay? Real quick. You want to take a break? Okay, real quick. Something funny. Some more, perfect for Friday. Perfect. I know, I'm going to hell. 30 Deep Grimy. Yeah, 30 Deep Grimy was just, and let me tell you who 30 Deep Grimy is. Do you remember Brittany Gray, right? Okay, Brittany Gray. We interviewed Brittany Gray, the Playboy centerfold, who was accused of faking a pregnancy by Little Boosie's son, Tootie Raw, okay? We interviewed her, right? And she came on, she was dripped in jury. She said that, she keeps to herself. She said the baby was fine, although I don't believe there's a baby at all. I believe she really did fake being pregnant. And now she is suing Lil Bootsy. But during that interview, if you can remember, because I only put out 20 minutes of that interview, okay? And the reason I have him up here is because during that interview was the first time I've heard of this guy. His name is 30 Deep Grimy. And 30 Deep Grimy is apparently her fiance, okay? The one who is suing Lil Bootsy, who Lil Bootsy accused of using somebody else's baby to blame on his son, Tootie Raw, for going in raw in her and getting her fake pregnant, okay? Stay with me. Stay with me now, okay? And so Tootie Raw, I had a very, 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 very in-depth conversation with her, Miss Brittany Gray, the Playboy centerfold, about insurance and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a grown lady. And, she said that, they wanted kids because this is her fiance. And she talks to him every day, all day, around the clock. He even wanted to do an interview with me from jail. And because apparently he, I guess, was trying to get his music out because he had recently dropped a mixtape. And then I had a very serious conversation with her because I was just like, the guys, I found out that she was like, saying I'm about to get married and I'm engaged, but he's in prison. And I asked her, I said, well, who is the guy? She said 30 Deep Grimy. And I was like, who? And she said 30 Deep Grimy. And she said it like really fast. And so we didn't put out this part of the interview, but it's out now. It's on TashaKLive.com. Because I thought it was very relevant because he's from St. Louis and he was sentenced to almost 8 years on federal gun charges. And I told her during that interview, because I was like, if you pregnant or you're going to have a baby from this guy, you're going to marry this guy, you need to get some insurance on him. And you should have saw her face. She was like, huh? I said, yeah. I said, ask your mama. I said, so if this man's name is 30 Deep Grimy, he's a rapper, okay? He's in jail on gun charges. He's probably a part of a set in jail. If you're going to be the wife and going to be waiting by the phone every 15 minutes for him to hang up and call you back, collect, to talk to you because he ain't got nothing else to do, and then he got to stand up, right? By the phone to listen to you, play with yourself, and do all kind of stuff like that, then you need to put some insurance on him because I don't think he coming out. And if he come out, he ain't coming out the same. And you just should have saw her face. She was like, I can't do that. I said, well, why not? Why can't you do that? Brittany, you have a baby. You claim you're going to marry this guy. You claim he's the one. Then you got to start making grown women decisions. And these rappers, the life expectancy, now I know the insurance policy may be a little high because he is a rapper. He's under a certain age, okay? And his name is 30 Deep Grimy. I'm sure when they pull his blood work and all that stuff that they have to take, EKG, they're going to find that his organs are not in the best shape. Kidneys are not in the best shape. Dental plan, as you can see, there isn't one in place, okay? And it may cost us some money, but in the end, in case one of them sets that he got tattooed on his neck decide that they don't want him to come out, she will be set for life, and then she ain't got to get on the internet and allegedly fake pregnancies of babies by has-been rappers, okay? That interview is in its entirety, and you should have saw her face on TashaKLive.com. I said, oh, we can release it now. Let's go ahead. She young, but it's some pure tea fuckery, okay? Good luck, 30 Deep Grimy. Don't get 30 while you're in there, okay? All right. Now, real quick, after the break, we got Wendy Williams, Brother Polight. We got an update on that, okay? And then we have our part 3 to the PPP, okay? Pastor, Prophet or Predator, okay? And Larry Reed is our first installment on that series, okay? And so we have the brother to Levontre Andrews, who has since, according to him, came out to accuse Larry Reed of inappropriately touching him and paying him to come in Dr. Larry Reed's mouth, okay? $60 for a sticky session. And amongst other things that he allegedly did to this teen while he was underage and in his care while in his church, okay? His brother is here with his account of things. And like I said, we have a very censored version of that that just got approved by YouTube, and we'll be playing that tonight, okay? But before we run that, we got some sponsors that we need to brag about, which means boldly raise a glass to. Ooh, I need some wine, child. I need some wine. Let's go. Let's go.
I was shocked to see that the receipts are still sitting in the space in which you got them from, because I was like, there is no way Reed would have been bold enough to file a lawsuit, and these receipts are live in public right now.
Me and Shamako had several conversations about Reed, to the extent that he felt like when I told him about it, he told me randomly one day, he was like, because of how close we were, he said it seemed like if something was going to happen, like it would have happened with me and you, not you and Reed. And that in that moment, it changed how I looked at him entirely. And so he said, when you hugged me on Sunday, I got an erection. He said, I could tell that you really love me when you hugged me. So I could just feel that you love me, and it gave me an erection.
Like, call me. And then he's steady sending you scripture after scripture of shit that he said, because he wants to continue to manipulate so he can change your mind into thinking that he did not do anything to you. But what are you apologizing for, Larry Reed? Yeah. What mistakes have you made?
Listen close and listen carefully. The olive leaf extract can reverse high blood pressure and diabetic high blood sugar, or the sugar as some of our grandmamas may call it. It can also kill any nasty little bugs in your bodies like parasites, bacteria, fungi, tumors, and much, much more. And if that's not enough, you can also tell certain cancers like breast, prostate, colon, liver, and skin cancer to take a seat, because the olive leaf extract has been known to fight it. And their friend lupus can get it too, okay? So I need my winos to be in good health, because we have some good dragging to do. So visit myoliveleaf.biz to help get your health in order. All right, winos, check out our Unwine with Tasha K store. We got sweatshirts that say, nah, I gotta go and I ain't got it. We got crop top, wine mug, water bottles. We got it all, okay? So be sure to hit that link below. All right, and we're back, okay? I see y'all in the comments. Y'all better be liking or disliking this video, whether you hit a love or here to hate, okay? We do not discriminate at all, okay? Everybody is here and they have a voice that we respect, okay? Now, real quick, okay? Because I want to talk about this story that is a complete lie that that was reported on Wendy Williams, okay? They said that she is inside, and this is by the U.S. Sun, okay? So I got it right. Okay, and so they said Wendy's World, inside Wendy Williams' sad and lonely life in New York City penthouse as friends doubt her promised podcast will ever launch, okay? So this is the topic, okay? And they said that Wendy Williams is living a very lonely life in her New York City penthouse and is worlds away from the full schedule she once had as a daytime talk show host. The U.S. Sun has exclusively learned, okay? Wait for it. One Wendy insider exclusively told The Sun that she no longer sees any of her friends and doubts her podcast will ever take off the ground, okay? A source said Wendy Williams rarely goes out these days. We wonder why. Okay? Insiders in Wendy's orbit are questioning if her podcast will ever come into fruition. Then they go on to say the source said that recently the former host has been reaching out to former friends to meet up. But I thought the title said that she was sad and lonely. Let me keep reading here, okay? She's been calling people saying like, hey, let's have dinner, but she's acting like all this time hasn't passed. It's this out of the blue call with no update on how she's doing or anything. When she reaches out, she acts as if we just went out to eat last week. What's more, the insider added is that when she does talk about anything personal, she goes into diatributes about how she's single. And when you finally when you finally do get her to give you an update about how she goes off into these tangents about being single, looking for love, and all that other stuff. And the insider said who found it strange, the unemployed star never mentions any projects she's supposedly working on. A second Wendy source noted that on the Wendy's podcast website, there's an open call for random people to sign up to be a guest, okay? And then they also said that this particular source said that her son is estranged from her and that her son has been stealing from her, and that's the reason why Wendy is no longer talking to her son, because she believes that her son has been stealing from her. Now, what I want to know is who got the audacity to tell the son that Wendy is lonely and rarely goes out these days and wants to stay in her apartment, but in the same fucking tone. I wasn't even supposed to cuss. See, I'm getting all out. YouTube say I can't cuss, y'all. Listen, this is why I should have did this story on my app. Okay, I should have did it on TashaKLive.com, but it's got my blood pressure up. Okay, so you're the supposed friend, the source, and you're saying that she's lonely, but she's calling you because she wants to hang out. But then you call the son and say that she's lonely, and don't think that her podcast is ever gonna get off the ground. And that her son, and then you go as far as in lie and say that her son, and you could tell that it was a lie just because it didn't make sense, right? How is it that she's lonely, but she's calling y'all saying, hey, I want to hang out? Depressed people don't call their friends and say, hey, we want to hang out. Depressed people want to stay in their apartments. They don't want to come out. They don't want people around them, okay? They don't worry about being single. Depressed people want to be in relationships. They want to go out and have lunch. And then at the same time, if you claim that you're a friend, why on earth are you putting out just blatant lies that this woman thinks her son stole from her, and that's the reason she got to get a conservator is because her son was stealing from her? No. And I'm like, did the son just all of a sudden pick up this story randomly? Did they not follow what was going on? Did they not follow that it was her business manager, her husband, all these people that was around her that was stealing from her? It didn't have anything to do with her son. Her son was actually trying to get the bills paid that she was paying while he went to college, but instead they had got caught stealing, including the rep that was over her money at Wells Fargo, and decided to go down there and tell them to lock her account up because she was incapable of spending her own money because she was trying to fire the rep. And then the Sun gonna publish this exclusively saying that this is the reason why all of this is happening? Now, I get it. A lot of people are mad that Wendy has slaughtered their asses for the last 30 years. And this is a one-up on Wendy. I get it, because they know that she's not going to respond to any of the shit at all. She's immune to it. She's not going to respond. But it's like there's somebody behind the scenes that just can't get over that one story that Wendy reported on. And this is what they're resulting to, which is trying to create a narrative that we know is not true. And that is not the reason as to why she has a conservator. It has nothing to do with her son. If you ask me, I think it has everything to do with the lady who was her money manager over there at Wells Fargo, okay? That's mad that she's no longer getting any commission from handling Wendy Williams' accounts, and that she was embarrassed publicly by Wendy. Somebody on the team lying, and they are relishing in the fact that now they can get their lick back. This is all bullshit. All bullshit. Now, if you ask me, I think Wendy need to take her and move the hell out the country, surrender her passport, go to Mexico, go to Europe, go wherever you gotta go so you can be in charge of your own. Take your child too. Because at this point, I could tell. They wanted an OD so they could take the money. They wanted an OD so they can challenge the estate and file lawsuit after lawsuit. I'm telling you, that's exactly what's going to happen. That's what they're aiming for. Don't believe this shit, y'all. Don't believe this shit. Don't believe it. I said, don't believe it. I said, you make it make sense. I done broke every Wendy story there is. 90% of them. And this is a whole lie. Everybody knows why she got a conservatorship. It had nothing to do with her son. Her son was just in court pleading that they don't take his condo that his mother was paying for because they locked her accounts. That ain't had nothing to do with him. And they started trying to put it on his son when he was spending her credit card. No, it was the white folks she had in charge. That's who was doing it. Moving on to Mr. 7 Charges. I ain't gonna say that. Thank you. Mr. 7 Charges, okay, of inappropriately touching a minor between the ages of 12 and 16, okay? You guys have been asking for an update. They have 7 felony charges right now pending in Miami against Michael Nowak, a.k.a. Brother Unpolite, okay? Yeah. He actually has a hearing coming up on February 8th. Now, just in case this is the first time hearing the story, it's okay. Let me rewind this back. So he had a girlfriend, right? He considered the girlfriend his wife. The girlfriend worked for him. The girlfriend had a 14-year-old daughter, okay? So one night, he asked the girlfriend, they were on a trip, if he could take the girlfriend's daughter out to go get some food, okay? And mother said, okay. She ain't never let her daughter out of her sight, but that night, he didn't return back home with the way the daughter left. The daughter left coherent, has never did any type of, or participated in any type of substance abuse or anything like that. And apparently, according to the police report that was filed and the charges that was filed and the charges that he's facing, he decided to offer the little girl, let's go to the club. We're going to go to the club. We ain't going to get nothing to eat. We're going to go to the club. So then tells her they're going to go to the club. The club is closed. Gives her something to drink. Then when he gets a little, under the influence, he takes her back to a hotel. Yeah. And the rest is history. The rest is history. And he's facing 7 charges of committing just the most heinous crimes against a child between the ages of 12 and 16 years old, okay? Taking off clothes while she was under the influence, even bringing her back home to the point where, she got back and the mother's like, what's wrong with my daughter? I thought you said you was taking her to eat. What is going on? You know what I'm saying? And she's like, I got to take my daughter to the hospital. She did not, according to the mother, did not take her daughter to the hospital. Her daughter wouldn't have made it because of what he apparently gave her. Okay? Now, he claims to be a self-proclaimed guru, leader, motivational speaker, woke, I don't know, whatever you call it, credit guru, has all these wives with BBLs. Just everything. And this is not the first child that he's supposedly done this to. Okay? There's been plenty of parents. But none have been bold enough to go down there and do what this particular mother has done. And so he has a hearing on February 8th here in Miami. We're going to look that up. I'm going to try to be present for that hearing if I'm here in Miami at the time when it goes down. Okay, so I just kind of wanted to give y'all an update that he is still facing 77 felony charges separate. Okay, each charge carrying anywhere from 7 to 20 years. Okay, so he can fly all the Gucci, Prada, asking people to cash app him for good credit and stocks and bonds and crypto. Then he takes it into the St. Laurent store. You know? Yeah, he can continue to do that, but it ain't going to be long. All right? Now, moving on. Okay, now before we get into the last topic, we're not taking, okay? Before we get into the last topic, I do want to tell you to stay here, okay? Because we got about a 20-minute interview, okay? I promised you guys that you were going to get this interview, okay? This is from Levontre Andrews' brother. Remember, we interviewed Levontre Andrews about 3 weeks ago, okay? We've been working on this documentary series on Larry Reed for some months now, okay? And we just released episodes 1, 2, and this is episode 3. And episode 4 will be airing on Sunday to the PPP series, Pastor, Prophet, or Predator. It will be airing Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is part 3. Levontre Andrews has accused Dr. Larry Reed, we call him Dr. Sticky Mouth, of paying him while he was underage to, come in his mouth, to touch on him, inappropriately have conversations with him, while he was a married man and while this was a boy, okay? And so there's been a lot that's been said on the internet. This story has a lot of people angry, and I get it, okay? But we ain't done. We ain't done, okay? And so we do have part 3 here, which is Levontre Andrews' brother, Farrelli McGilvery, okay, who is here to share an account with us, his account on what happened, because he was the second person to find out. The first person was Larry Reed's right-hand man, Shamako, okay? And in that trailer that you just saw with Levontre Andrews, he was describing hugging Shamako, Larry's right-hand man. And Larry's right-hand man not only told him that he was in love with Larry Reed, but he would have thought that it would have been him and Levontre. And Levontre is a teenager at this time, okay? So very, very, very disturbing, triggering things, okay? And so without further ado, we're going to introduce part 3 to our PPP series on Larry Reed, Pastor, Prophet, or Predator, okay? Or pedo, whatever you want to call it. And so stay here because we definitely have something to discuss right after this here interview. Enjoy. All right, so Farrelli McGilvery.
Yes.
Okay, I'm glad I got your name right on the first time. I hate that we're here on such unfortunate circumstances. Yeah. You're here to fully support your brother, Levontre Andrews. For sure. Okay. You know that we've spoken with Levontre extensively about the allegations that he's made against Pastor Dr. Larry Reed. Right. Who's a YouTube personality, somewhat of a famous pastor. Yeah. And so regarding him inappropriately touching, molesting, or having any sort of inappropriate relationship with your teen brother at the time. Yeah. Okay. While your teen brother attended his church. Yeah. Okay. Now, you were the one, according to Levontre and according to your mom, Miss Sharon, were the one that really just kind of blew everything up. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so before we get into the specifics, because I want people to know, like, your character in itself, like I was, not that I was shocked when I found out what you did, but I really kind of want people to understand who you are. Yeah. Yeah. And so just to be clear, like, what is it that you do for a living?
So I had a 12-year career as a university administrator at HBCUs in North Carolina. Okay. Where I started off bringing students as freshmen into the university, going them through that orientation, getting them to feel comfortable with the university, providing them resources. And I just stopped doing that in August of last year, and now I'm full-time solo entrepreneur.
Okay. Well, congratulations on your new entrepreneur career.
And fun at the same time.
Yes. I think entrepreneurs, we get off on the thrill.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you've worked with lots of college students, or just minors in general, just, giving your career. What did you go to school for?
So I went to school for a lot of things, but what I graduated with was a Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Studies, and kind of focusing on race, class, and culture. Okay. And then I have a Master's of Public Administration.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. All right. So I kind of just wanted to get that out of the way, and I don't want to really talk about your childhood per se, because I don't think that's up for debate, However, you being there for your brother when he came to you, because you were the first person. Well, we just found out the other day you weren't the first person. It was actually Shamako, the closest person to Larry Reed, that your brother Lavondre Andrews went to at the age of 15, according to Shamako, in a live stream with Larry Reed, saying that he came to him to tell him that Reed was inappropriate and carrying on an inappropriate relationship with him. And they told him that he was in love with Larry Reed as a teenager. And Larry Reed was almost 30. Yeah. Okay. And Larry Reed even quoted that he didn't know that he was being looked at as a father figure, or being just kind of obsessed over. He didn't know that he was this big figure in these boys' lives, is what he was saying. And quite often, men and women would find themselves just going crazy over him, and just lust, lusting over him. And he had a dream and in the dream, he was told that someone would come forward about child station against minors because of these inappropriate relationships that he was having. So he decided to separate himself before it came out. And it's just getting worse by the minute. And have you been watching what's been going on since your brother first came out?
Yeah, I wanted to make sure I was clear, because my family's not really watching anything. So I'm like, if y'all not going to watch, I need to be sure and understand what people are saying, and making sure I can kind of help prepare them through this, because nobody's been through this before. When you're on the internet and everybody has an opinion about your life, it's like you don't know how to deal with that. I've been trolled on the internet before, so I know what that feels like, to have strangers commenting on stuff and you're like, what is going on? Yeah. So I've been, keeping up with the lies and the shifting of stories, and as somebody who was very close to the situation, I'm like, that's not true. But the way that it's being played it's believable, because they're very confident about what they're saying. And if you can only see people one way, then you could buy the story.
And so let's go back, and I hate to take you back there, but I really want to stick to the facts. Yeah. Okay. So your brother did an interview. He said that when he left, he came to you. He was kicked out of the church. Yeah. Came to you with his wife with his now wife, who is his wife now, and told you, what did he tell you?
He told me everything he shared in your interview, with the exception of the being paid to perform those acts. Okay. So that was new. Everything else was consistent with what he shared with me. Okay.
And how did he share it with you? Like, do you remember exactly like what he told you? Yeah. During that time?
So this was 2010. I graduated in 2009 in December. I remember it because I just got my first apartment after graduating, and it was an 800 square foot, 1-bedroom apartment. Okay. I get a call, go pick up your brother. He's acting out, da-da-da-da. So then I go to Raleigh, pick him up, and have this conversation with Vincent at Applebee's in Raleigh, and to find out he's just having sex with the girls in the church. And so at that point, I was like, y'all are crazy. He's doing normal teenage stuff. So you really need to come with me. So I brought him back to my home and my apartment. And then probably a week or two later, his wife showed. Well, his now wife showed. Okay. Because, he signs leases for everybody in the church. And so he could use that as a controlling to say, if you don't do this, then all of y'all got to go. So the other people in the house were forced to kick her out so they wouldn't lose their housing. So she ended up coming there. And it was after about a week or two of them being there that he was like, I got something to tell you, but I don't know how you're going to take it, but I need to share this with you. And so he began to describe these sexual acts. And my brother, I've known him since he was born. We're 4 years apart. I was born in 86. He was born in 90. And
you're the older, you're
the oldest brother.
Okay.
We were raised in the same home together. We shared a bedroom growing up. And then he when he tells me this, I'm like, they don't know this? Like, does mama know? You know, and mom is in St. Martin at this time. And I call her and I'm like, we got a problem. And she's like, okay, and a lot of stuff I can't recall, but as she shared, it was just like, she was still on the side of the church. And we're like, so I was like, you know, you don't have no rights here. Like, you don't have nothing to say about the situation because you're not really thinking clearly. And I'll be his parent until you get back. When you get back, then we can talk. But I was in a mode of kind of protecting my brother because it seems like everybody around him was failing him at that point. And so I didn't talk to my mom for weeks because I was like, this is not the response as a parent that you should have when your child says this to you. And so I just went into that mode of protecting him because everybody else was out to get him, you know, and making him a villain. And essentially they were exiled from a church of 50 people, you know.
The way you said 50 people.
That's the context. It wasn't this huge giant ministry.
Okay.
You know, so it was a tight knit community. And if you're not familiar with the church community and you've been in church all your life, that's your family. Those are the people you're around a lot, and having connections with those people is very important. And so pushing you outside of the community and forcing people to cut ties with you because they don't want to lose their affiliation with the community, it just kind of creates these ripple effects that can really make you question and do things that you probably wouldn't normally do if you were in your right mind. So it's like you're under some kind of psychosis when you're in these churches and these cult-like situations. And that's what I would consider, you know, the things that my brother and my mom were part of at that church.
Okay. Now, your brother, how old was he at the time when he came to you to tell you this?
This was 2010. So he was born in 90.
Okay.
So I'm not good at
He's
math.
20 years old.
So that's 20, yes.
Okay, he's 20 years old. Okay. And so these were things that he had. Did he describe them? How long did he, I guess to your knowledge, did he tell you that they had been going on?
He didn't tell me like how long it went on.
Okay.
He told me what the actual acts that happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Did anybody think to want to call the police?
You know, that wasn't, I don't think that ever, I can't say if that came to my mind or not. I can't be 100% sure. I knew I wanted them to leave.
Okay.
At that point, I was 24. Okay. 23, 24 maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I was turning 24 that year. And I've not been a parent.
Yeah.
You know, and we're in the South, and you don't really expose pastors at that time. That wasn't a thing. Yeah. You know, it's like, that's a man of God, and let's just protect the victim. Okay. You know, and I think that's probably where the headspace was, but I knew it was wrong. I didn't know what to do about it, which is why we like, Mom, like, you need to,
you put it on your mom, fix it. Okay. Now, when she gets back into the country, I mean, she says she continues to go to the church, which I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, what? And even at one point, I think it was said that Levante had returned even after they had exiled him. What was the reason behind that? Do you know?
Yes, I do. I do know. Because I've asked those, that actually broke me and my brother's relationship when he went back. Because I was out like fighting for him. you know? And then I'm like, you going back? Like, what's up?
Was your mom still going there at the time when he went back?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so I think he described kind of like meeting up with him, with Mom and Shamako, having these conversations, telling them what happened while they were still living in my house. And I don't know, it was really tough because you just didn't know. I was just like, this isn't right. I know he's not lying. He wouldn't make up this level of information. And at this time, he wasn't even trying to report. He was like, this happened to me, you know? And he's the kind of person where his conscience stuff on his brain, he can't just sit with it. And then I guess nobody in the family knew. He had told his now wife, and she was sick to her stomach about it. And I'm assuming she, you know, kind of like, you need to tell your brother like, what's happening. That's maybe how I came to learn about it. But it was like, what are you doing? And we didn't talk for maybe 1 or 2 years. And if we did talk, because it's my brother, I'm not going to like completely abandon him. I'm just like side-eyeing you like, what are you doing, bro? And it's one of those things like, I'm on the outside. I was never a part of the church. Okay. Never, ever. And so you objectively, you can see when somebody's in a situation and what they should do, but the person in the situation can't really see. And then being the way that they were with these people every day, you immediately lost all your community at one chop. And so I can understand the psyche of that. It's like you're in the church, you know, you're well taken care of, you're living with the pastor, all these things are happening. And so as an impressionable teen who looks at somebody with a person of influence, and in my role as administrator, you have to be careful about the impressions and being clear about what this relationship is and kind of is not. And oftentimes I would tell my brother, and I was like, you know, these not y'all family. Like, these are not the people who are going to be with you if something truly happened. Because I was like, this is not normal. We've been a part of churches all of our lives, helped start churches, but this one functioned just a little different. And so when I think about it, I'm like, okay, yeah. And I'm obsessed with cults. Like, I do a lot of documentary watching, and it's very clear. I'm like, okay, this is how people manipulate, and people who are spiritual like us. We were raised in church. We were in church about 4 or 5 times a week, if not more. So that's where we found community. And not having a frame of reference for community outside of church was probably the most dangerous thing that kind of could have happened to us, you know, growing up. But hindsight is kind of, you know, 2020.
Now, they said that they were a part of the church, like he had been brought to the church around the age of like 14, 15. And then, you know, he starts to play the drums, and like as he's turning 16 is when he said, you know, probably about 9 months into him going is when the grooming started. And so, and it was done through, of course, these series of tests to the point where it was like Levontre came to him to do the test. Like, what was your initial reaction when you heard that, like, your brother was saying that Larry Reed was using these type of manipulation tactics to get your brother to make a move on him? Because he feels as if he's the victim. That's how Larry is describing it.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, well, I didn't know I was being obsessed over and all of this, and I was being looked at as a father figure. He was going to school telling people I was his daddy. Now we're talking about high school, not college.
Yeah, high school.
High school, okay? Because I don't think Levontre went to college, did he? No. Yeah, so, and all of this came out of Larry Reed's mouth, okay? Because he's hell-bent on saying 17, 17, 17, 17, because in the state of North Carolina, it's legal, it's the age of consent. But here's the thing, it's the age of consent. However, if a 17-year-old did not consent, then that is illegal. And I keep trying to get, you know what I'm saying, to really make that clear, because 17 and 28 years old, that's a big difference. And then you're in a position of power.
Yes.
This is a child that was left in your boarding houses, okay, that Vincent Hill owned. Which Vincent Hill, I don't even know what his position is in the church. However, Vincent can be liable for this too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it happened under his, like, his roof. Yeah. And his name were on the houses. And so we've done just that much digging, and he just keeps saying 17, 17, 17. And he's saying that Levontre, like he admits to having inappropriate conversations alone in his room with your brother. Yeah. But he is like, well, he was 17 at the time. So really that was in his mind legal. But it can't be legal if he didn't consent.
Yeah, and that whole question around consent, when I first started working in higher education, I was trained in sexual assault. We would adjudicate cases where the victim would say, this person did X, Y, and Z to me. And so it's a very sticky minefield to travel, but you have to listen to what people are saying, because in North Carolina, consent and federally it's changed. It used to be you can't give consent if you're under a certain age. You can't give consent if you have alcohol in your system, and then consent can be withdrawn. You know, and it's not always a physical or verbal no. You know, we have victims who would be in the space. They couldn't leave. They wouldn't scream because of fear of their safety. And you know, there's this power dynamic that exists when people are sexually assaulted. And if I feel like I am not going to be safe, or I might be hurt, or you may have something over me, I may sit through this whole entire thing and not resist, but wait for it to be over. And so then as sexual assault cases adjudicators, we have to look at, okay, what is this victim saying happened? I'm in the room, I see this, I remember this, ... And hear my brother say that on his first one, I was like, yeah, this is classic sexual assault speak. You remember the door being cracked, you remember what's on the TV sounds, because you're checked out of the moment. And these things, you go right back into those spaces. And so I was like, I hadn't heard him describe that until that point. And I was like, yo, this is really deep, because he kind of like shivered talking to you, and I was like, oh, I've seen this before. Case over case, where the victim would describe, and like, I just laid there, and well, why didn't you shout? You know, we always want the victim to be responsible for, why didn't you do something so you wouldn't be victimized? No, it's not your fault as a victim, you know, and you have to be clear and really understand what people are saying. And now we have the person who's accusing saying all these things. So we have both sides of it. And if a sexual assault specialist looked at it, it's very clear what happened. And whether he's 15 or 17, still a victim.
But I was shocked to see that the receipts are still sitting in the space in which you got them from, because I was like, there is no way Reed would have been bold enough to file a lawsuit, and these receipts are live in public right now.
Me and Shamako had several conversations about Reed, to the extent that he felt like when I told him about it, he told me randomly one day, he was like, because of how close we were, he said it seemed like if something was going to happen, like it would have happened with me and you, not you and Reed. And that in that moment, it changed how I looked at him entirely. And so he said, when you hugged me on Sunday, I got an erection. He said, I could tell that you really love me when you hugged me. So I could just feel that you love me, and it gave me an erection.
Like, call me. And then he's steady sending you scripture after scripture of shit that he said, because he wants to continue to manipulate so he can change your mind into thinking that he did not do anything to you. But what are you apologizing for, Larry Reed?
Yeah.
What mistakes have you made?
Listen close and listen carefully. The olive leaf extract can reverse high blood pressure and diabetic high blood sugar, or the sugar as some of our grandmamas may call it. It can also kill any nasty little bugs in your bodies like parasites, bacteria, fungi, tumors, and much, much more. And if that's not enough, you can also tell certain cancers like breast, prostate, colon, liver, and skin cancer to take a seat, because the olive leaf extract has been known to fight it. And their friend lupus can get it too, okay? So I need my winos to be in good health, because we have some good dragging to do. So visit myoliveleaf.biz to help get your health in order. All right, winos, check out our Unwine with Tasha K store. We got sweatshirts that say, "Now I gotta go and I ain't got it." We got crop top, wine mug, water bottles. We got it all, okay? So be sure to hit that link below. All right, and we're back. Okay, so that was part 3. That was as much as that we could get approved on YouTube, okay? If you do want to hear the rest of that interview, it's about an hour, 15 minutes. You guys heard about 20 minutes of it. He does go into detail about Larry Reed tricking on some of his college friends at the time while Larry was married, okay, to a woman, Lisa. And he was sleeping, apparently, according to Farrelli, with other gay men that he had known at the college. So it gets real thick in that interview, okay? And so you can find the rest of that interview, part 3, on TashaKLive.com. And remember, Sunday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, okay? It's the receipt time. It's receipt, okay? And you shall receive these receipts, okay? Now, we got a second part of our show on TashaKLive.com. Finally, I get to cuss a little bit. I sure do. I cannot wait, okay? Who we going to be talking about? Lotto. I mean, there's so much. I don't even have the list in front of me. Give me 1 second. Let me pull up who we're talking about. I am so, unprepared right now. Give me a moment, but I have it in front of me. Okay? We're going to be talking definitely about Lotto, all right, and her lover. All right, Prince Andrew, Jeffrey Epstein, and Ghislaine Maxwell, okay. Also, a few people that you don't know, Kevin Justin Mayorga, okay, I can't even say his last name right, okay. James D. Russell and Craig Allen Hucker, all people that you are going to know about tonight, okay, on TashaKLive.com, as well as Big Frida, and much more, okay. And so we will start the second part of the show on TashaKLive.com at 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. So if you are coming to join us, that does give you time to create an account on TashaKLive.com so we can get into some things, okay? Finally, I can cuss and let it go, okay? Just you got to let it go. But I enjoy YouTube. I know y'all saying, Tasha, why are you censored over here? This is why, okay? So listen, but that's okay. We got a place where we can be uncensored. So I will see y'all at 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. Thank you all so much for watching, okay? I hope you enjoy Fuckery Friday, all right? If you like this video, subscribe. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Winos Podcast, at Unwine with Tasha K. If you want to advertise on my platform, please hit us at ads at TashaKLive.com. That is ads at TashaKLive.com. If you have tips on your favorite celebrities, please feel free to hit us as you normally have in the DM or Instagram, or unwinewithTashaK@gmail.com. Thank you to my entire team, okay, for helping to put this show together, and part 2 of the show that you are going to watch here shortly. And with that being said, okay, if I don't see you tonight, I'll definitely see you on Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for part 4. Them receipts on deck, okay, for the PPP on Larry Reed, okay, pastor, prophet, or predator, okay? It is a question that we're asking you, okay? And with that being said, now I got to go over to TashaKLive.com.